Today, we are going to start cutting and tearing the pieces for our cupcake. I'm going to take my painted piece of paper and my trapezoid stencil, and I'm going to line it up with the top and the bottom of my paper, and then just press my pencil against the side of the stencil and trace the diagonal lines on the side of the trapezoid. Once you have traced the lines, you're going to use your scissors to carefully cut along the line. Cut all the way up the line. Make sure you're holding your scissors carefully. Your scissors should be taking little bites, not big giant chomps across your paper. When done, make sure you throw your trash away. And now we're ready to move on to the next part. So I no longer need my scissors. I am going to get a piece of paper that I want to use for my cupcakes icing, and I'm going to tear the paper. I'm going to tear the long way. I'm going to pinch with my fingers or hold it flat on the table and carefully tear the paper in half. So now I have two pieces that are the same size. I'm going to tear those pieces, so I have two that are the same, and then I'm going to tear those pieces, so now I have four that are the same. I am now going to tear one more time, so I can make 8 pieces. I'm going to tear each piece in half, so that way I have a total of 8 pieces of paper. Once you are finished tearing all the pieces of paper, we're going to start putting them onto our picture. Make sure they're all the same color. Don't switch color of icing. Make sure you use the same color the whole way through. I'm going to put just a little bit of glue along the very top of the cupcake. This is the wider side of the trapezoid. I'm going to take my layer of icing and I just want to tear off these edges that are smooth. We don't want the smooth edges, we want the rough edges, so make sure you tear those off. Then I'm going to place the paper onto the cupcake. It should be sticking half on, half off. You want it to touch the paper, but you don't want it to be right on top of it. You want to build it up a little bit. Now this one needs to be shorter, so I'm going to trim it by tearing it. Remember, we're not using the scissors. Tear it just a little bit at a time. That looks like it would fit perfectly. Don't tear the paper in big sections too fast. You want it to slowly get smaller as you go up. Don't tear the pieces too small too fast. You want to make them get just a little bit smaller each time. Don't let them get too small too fast. Take another piece, measure it, tear the extra off, and then put a little bit of glue and stick it onto the cupcake. These should be half on and half off of the previous row. You're going to continue this process all the way up to the very top of the cupcake. It should make a triangle shape when we are done. The fuzzy lines from the tearing of the paper give the icing its texture, so make sure you're tearing the paper and not using your scissors. That looks good. I have room for maybe 1 or 2 more little spaces. Put a little glue, tear the paper, and press it down. Let's see. That looks pretty good. So now I'm ready to move on to the next step, which is making the cherry for the top of the cupcake. You don't have to put a cherry on top of your cupcake, but if you would like to, I'm going to take a red piece of paper, trace the lid of the glue stick to make a circle, use my scissors, and I'm going to cut it out. Cut smoothly and carefully, take little nibbles. That looks good. I'm going to put glue on the side with the pencil line, and then I'm going to place it on the top of my cupcake. Next week, we will add the sprinkles with paint. Now I'm going to get a tiny little piece of green paper that's been cut to the right size, and I'm going to use it to make the stem for the cherry, for the top of the cupcake. Now my work of art is all done. I'm going to clean up my materials, and I'm all finished for today.